Hello, everybody. We are live again. If you were on the last stream, then we apologize because unfortunately what happened was we were like 30 seconds in and the internet stopped working. So we have no idea what happened. We reset the modem, still not working the internet. So I'm actually recording this right now on my phone from my data plan as an alternative so that we can be live with you guys right now. So apologies for that. Never happened before, but unfortunately there's technical difficulties that do happen, especially when you're doing a live stream like this and it's not a pre-recorded video. So glad that we are back. Glad that you guys are still on. Thank you guys for your patience. And we'll do the best that we can to do this stream on our phone through the data plan. And hopefully everything is still good. I'm not sure how good the connection is. It might lag a little bit, but just let me know in the chat if everything is good for you guys, okay? If not, we'll try to do this another time if there are still issues. Again, we're here to try to help you guys out in whatever way that we can, but unfortunately, the world of the internet that we live in, there's technical difficulties that do happen. So, okay, with that being said, let me dive back into what I was sharing before our internet connection dropped. We're here today to answer whatever questions that you guys have about selling on Amazon. I know many of you guys know Tatiana. We did a great video, I think it was about a week or 2 weeks ago that we put out, sharing how she's now making $115,000 per month in sales with her business on Amazon and Shopify. I know a lot of you guys loved that video. It's powerful, inspirational, it's emotional. And we want to make sure that we can do a follow-up here today to answer the questions that you guys have. Now, I also want to make sure, someone's calling me, I got my other phone here, because if you are following us on Instagram, then we mentioned that, you know, you can submit the questions for us as well. So I do have some questions here that I want to answer from people on Instagram. And again, if you guys are here live, post whatever questions that you guys have. Now, I want to kind of start with a few announcements for you guys as well, things that I think could benefit you guys, things that we've got coming up that are exciting, that, you know, are kind of not even related to selling on Amazon. Some of it is, but I want to share some of those with you guys right now. Number one, I know many of you guys, and many of you, but also a lot of you don't even know that we have a big giveaway that's happening right now where we're giving away a lot of awesome prizes. iPhone, Kindles, GoPro, iPad, a lot of my courses, training programs, a lot of awesome swag, a lot of amazing stuff that I'm giving away right now. And we're announcing the winners. There's gonna be 25 winners. We're announcing those winners on April 18th, okay, April 18th. So if you haven't yet entered the giveaway, make sure that you do. Go to projectlifemastery.com/giveaway. Okay, projectlifemastery.com/giveaway. Okay, so that's where you go to enter the giveaway. Another thing, I'll kind of plant a seed for you guys, something that I'm personally excited about that I can't share too much yet, but I do want to plant a seed for you guys. For those of you that are a Tony Robbins fan, okay, anybody here a Tony Robbins fan? I'm curious. He's changed my life in so many ways. Many of you guys know that, my story with Tony since I was 17 years old and the impact that he's made and how he's inspired me. And I recently, actually about a month and a half ago, Tony's team, as well as Dean Graziosi, some of you might know him. He's a big name real estate guru and online entrepreneur, marketer, king of infomercials. And then also Russell Brunson, some of you guys might know him as well, who's the founder of ClickFunnels, an incredible online marketer, someone that I've looked up to as well. I'm actually partnering up with them on a big launch, a big product. Tony Robbins, just so you guys know, has not launched a new product in 12 years, okay, not including his book, but a brand new product. And so I'm partnering up with them to make self-education the new norm. And I'm incredibly excited. I'll be able to share more details with you guys in the next week or two about it, but it's gonna be big. It's gonna be one of the biggest launches in internet marketing history, probably, I think. It's gonna be amazing. So I wanna share with you guys more when the time's ready for it. We're here to talk about Amazon though, but I wanna plant that seed for those of you that are Tony Robbins fans like we are, and just say to be ready and be excited for something big that's coming. And again, if you wanna be notified of this, it's best to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, but also, you know, kind of another announcement is we launched the Project Life Mastery global community on Facebook. So we built this amazing Facebook group that we started about 2 weeks ago. And we already have, I think, 1,500, 1,600 members of that group. So I've been posting a lot in there, and we've got so many incredible members of that group that are like-minded people on the same path of life mastery and helping and supporting each other. And I'm gonna provide more awesome content and stuff there for you guys too. Okay, what else do I have to share? Okay, so we're gonna answer your questions about Amazon here. Tatiana, we're gonna do another Q&A on her YouTube channel after this, okay? So we're gonna do half of the Q&A here for maybe the next hour or so. And then if you guys want more, we'll probably do another hour or so on Tatiana's YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel is Tatiana James. Okay, Tatiana James. You can find her on YouTube, subscribe to her. She's got amazing stuff on Amazon, e-commerce, all of that. So make sure you guys follow her there. And by the way, we have my team right now, Steve and Zuriel, who are manning the chat right now here. So they're gonna post some of these links for you guys in the chat. We'll try to throw some of them down in the description for you as well. Okay, and one more thing that I'll mention. Oh, actually, there's kind of two more. We'll save the big one, the mastermind one, for later. But okay, another thing is that if you guys want more help in terms of getting started on Amazon, step by step, you want to learn how we got started on Amazon, the best training program out there. There's going to be an upcoming live webinar. There's actually 3 of them that are happening on April 15th, 16th, and 17th, okay? These are live webinars that are gonna go more in depth, okay? This is just a Q&A today, but there's a more in-depth training explaining how selling on Amazon works, sharing the 4 steps, the ways that we got started, the 4 steps that we took to build our Amazon businesses. There's just gonna be a lot more. There's gonna be a 5-step criteria inside this training on how to pick your first product. It's gonna be amazing. You're not gonna wanna miss it. It's gonna be live only. There's gonna be no recordings, no replays of that. And if you want to register for it and check it out, go to projectlifemastery.com/ASM webinar. Okay, so www.projectlifemastery.com/ASM webinar. So those are my announcements, things that could help you guys and things for you guys to be excited about. And there's another big one too, a big announcement, but in terms of for those of you that are interested in getting coaching from us, okay, we're making ourselves available for some private coaching and group coaching, and it's a live event, okay, but we'll if you guys stick around to the end of this Q&A, we'll tell you guys more about it. So I'll keep you guys hooked for the end, and we'll dive into that a little bit later too. And someone asked what time is the live training. The times and all that are on the page that I just linked you guys to, so projectlifemastery.com/ASM webinar. Okay, with that being said, how about we dive into some questions? So what I'll do, if you want to actually...
I can see here.
Oh, you got the chat? Okay. So if you want to dive and take some, we'll both take turns, and there's going to be a lot of questions that you guys have, and usually we love to be very thorough with our answers for you and very in-depth, but we also want to make it sure that everybody, not everybody, but as many people as possible gets a chance to get their questions asked and answered, and we'll do the best that we can here.
So Jocelyn says, hello, great people. Thanks. I will sell from Ontario, Canada. Should I register for an EIN of USA and nothing in Canada as a starter till I do $30,000 a year? So that is a question. You should have an accountant to work with, but if you are going to be selling in Amazon USA, yes, you should register for an EIN number. It's very easy to get the EIN number. You just call them and you tell them the nature of your business. You tell them that you're a Canadian citizen, but you're going to be selling on Amazon.com, and they'll give you the EIN number, and then basically you have to file your return in the US, just saying that you are paying taxes in Canada. And
you actually don't even have to file a return in the US when you have the EIN. It's basically only for Amazon and these other companies in terms of any withholding tax requirements. Certain countries have tax treaties with others, so but like I have to submit the forms and EIN and everything for a lot of different companies, but it's more sales tax.
So there's nothing that you have to submit to declare that you have are having income in Canada?
In Canada or in the US?
Taxes in Canada?
In the US or Canada?
I think that there's a form that you have to submit, just like to say that you are paying your taxes in Canada.
Yeah, so that's where you put the EIN. That's the W8 Ben form, yes, and that's something that you submit to Amazon.
Yes.
Amazon has to provide that information to the IRS. It's something in any business, if you're outside of the US and you're doing business with US companies, then they do have to make sure that you submit this form to them. It's a little bit kind of tricky. Like, this is probably, a lot of you guys probably don't need to, know this much type of stuff right now. It's more something to get an accountant to help you with as well, because everyone, it's very generalized because everyone is in a different country here today, and it might be different requirements for that, but it is important to make sure that to get the EIN, you just got to call the IRS and they give it to you over the phone.
It's really easy to do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And those are some of the kind of logistical things too that, it is, that's why, we just always kind of end up, I feel like the biggest thing is coming back to getting a good training program or mentor or someone that can help you with this, because there's a lot of these little logistical things that can, be a little bit of a pain as you're going through this journey.
So,
you want to do another? Okay, so one is, how do I know which products I can do private labeling in? So there's certain products that you can private label, and private labeling is a process where you find other products that are being manufactured within the United States, China, anywhere in the world, and essentially they're already being made and manufactured, and you're private labeling it by ordering a quantity from that supplier, from that manufacturer of product, and then you putting your own logo, your own packaging and design on that, and then selling it however way that you want. So it's a very common process of selling. Let's see if are we back? Okay, again, we're doing this on the data of our phone because the internet in our apartment, I don't know if we're back. If we are, let us know, but we're recording this from data from 3G, so it's not gonna be the best. And again, we apologize for this. Unfortunately, internet stopped working and reset the modem and everything, the router, and still not working. So, okay, we're back. So just make sure you don't violate someone else's patents. Okay, that's important. And a great source to find products that you can private label would just be going to Alibaba.com. If you go to Alibaba.com, there's tons of products that you can research there, as well as going to Amazon, find products you want to sell on Amazon, then go to Alibaba, see if there's any suppliers, manufacturers that you can private label from, or you can just go to Google and type in, a certain supplement, a certain product that you want to private label, and just type in Google the product name and then manufacturer or supplier or private label, and you'll be able to find companies that are making themselves available to private label that product through.
All right, we've got a question from Katerina. Hey, I have a question about product photography. How did you do it for your first product? And it seems to work perfectly now. Okay, so product photography, when you're first starting, when I first did my product, I winged it, I did it, oh my gosh, it was actually very funny how I did my product photography. I took my product, I took 2 pieces of white printer paper, I put them one here, I put my product in the middle, and then I snapped a picture and I blended the edges with Photoshop, and that was how I did my original product photos. So that's really how you do it on a bargain, but actually don't do that these days, because your photos are your #1, your best selling marketing pieces in your Amazon listing. So I really encourage you to take the time to make them professional, because they've done studies and it's been proven that most people don't read the descriptions and very few people actually read the bullet points. So you should really focus your time and energy and money, quite frankly, on your product photography. And that also means that making sure that you have text on your photos. So if there's anything that needs to be mentioned, any key selling features, have that in some sort of infograph on your photos. It's very important. But you can get professional photos done by productphotography.com. That's a good place. I've seen some really great photos done there. You can get them done on Fiverr. You can get them done by there are a lot of places that you can get them done, but I do recommend having a professional do them. If you have a good quality iPhone, you could do them yourself if you have a white background. Just make sure that the quality of the images is high quality, because you want to be able to zoom into your photos on your Amazon listing.
Okay, here's a question someone sent in. Let's see. I just lost it. So Diana says, hi guys, I ran out of stock twice and sales are super low. In paying Amazon ads, but almost no sales. Any tips? Do you think a launch with viral launch can help? Thank you. So Diana, I mean, running out of stock, it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is if you run out of stock, it's kind of a sign that your product's been selling, right? And you're getting customers, and it's kind of a high quality problem to have. But running out of stock is something you want to avoid, obviously, because when your product's been selling and it's built up some sales velocity on Amazon, and then all of a sudden it stops, it's out of stock, then that can hurt the rankings of what you've established and built with your product on Amazon. So it is something you want to avoid, and you really got to make sure that you're managing your inventory to make sure that that doesn't happen. And it's happened to everybody for the most part, and you just kind of learn from it as best way you can. Now you mentioned that you're paying for Amazon ads, almost no sales, any tips, and launching with viral launch. So here's the thing. I mean, what we teach and what we believe is that really to effectively sell on Amazon, you've got to build a brand. You've got to get traffic from outside of Amazon. You can't just depend on Amazon. That's kind of the biggest mistake that a lot of people make, is they think, hey, you know what, I'm just going to put up a product on Amazon, and then Amazon for me, or I'm just going to turn on Amazon ads, and then that's all there is. I'm going to make money from doing that. And the challenge is everybody's doing that. You're not really standing out, you're not differentiating yourself. And that's why it's really important before you even launch a product to have a strategy behind it. A strategy in terms of how you're gonna market it, how you're gonna promote it, having a launch strategy around that product that can allow you to successfully get a lot of those sales and reviews and everything, so that your product can get a lot of traction right off the gate. And so a lot of people, they kind of run into this challenge where they have their product and they're like, it's not selling. Well, it's because you didn't really, you just kind of focus on the product, but not the market. It's not going to do much for you. So what we try to focus on and what we try to teach people is there's kind of two different platforms here, right? There's Amazon, but you got to understand on Amazon, the only ways you can really sell is through Amazon search, okay, by ranking your product for specific keywords, or from Amazon ads. And if you're just doing those two things, then you're going to have a hard time. So instead, you've got to build your brand outside of Amazon. You've got to build a YouTube channel maybe, or your social media following, or maybe you've got to learn Facebook advertising, or maybe you've got to learn how to, you've got to tap into the rest of what's available on the internet and have good strategies around that can then funnel into your product on Amazon, that can then boost the sales and sell as much of it that you want. So that's the key. It's learning marketing skills, not just launching a product, but actually learning how to market it and sell it and launch it. And those strategies of what you're going to learn are incredibly valuable, because those strategies allow you to sell anything, any type of product that you have in the future, and build an audience of people. So I'm not sure how you learn how to sell on Amazon, if you're just kind of trying to figure it out and do it on your own, but I would take a bit of a step back right now and look at the niche you're in, and look at develop some marketing strategies of what you need to do to get your product selling. And don't just depend on Amazon and spending money on ads. That's one way you can do it, and you should, but you should be looking at beyond Amazon in terms of building a brand, and choose some marketing strategies, again, whether it's Instagram or influencers, and really go deep in mastering that so that you can build up your brand, which is going to happen over time. It's not going to happen overnight, but determine the best direction in terms of how you can get to achieving your goals that you have.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have a question from Lily M. How many samples should we buy? So Lily, I personally recommend that when you're first trying to source products and you've decided on a product, I recommend that you get at least 3 samples from 3 different suppliers. So the reason behind this is because each supplier is going to have a different type of product quality, and you want to make sure that you have options. If you only have 1 sample, 2 samples, you just don't have enough to choose from, and you want to make sure that what you order is the best, because quality does matter. If you're trying to source a product that's cheaper and lower quality, eventually it's going to bite you in the butt, because the Amazon customers, they will write reviews and they will comment on how it's low quality. So you want to have high quality product. It's going to serve you in the long run. I also also recommend that you buy your competitors' products, because if you're sourcing a product for the first time, how do you know what's considered high quality and what's considered low quality if you have no reference? So if you buy the top 3 competitor products on Amazon, at least you know this is what you're competing up against. And then you can compare the samples from the suppliers to those products and determine which ones fit, which ones are the best. And someone else asked, I saw earlier, about how much do samples cost. Oftentimes suppliers will send you the samples for free. You do have to pay for shipping though. So sometimes if you're ordering 3 samples, it could be $30 in shipping from each supplier. That's just kind of the cost if you're shipping overseas.
Mm-hmm. Someone asked, what are my top 3 marketing strategies right now? I'll share a few things that we're doing that have been really effective and powerful. There's a lot of things that we're always doing, and we now have teams that help us. So we have a staff and people that help us, but I know Tatiana is really amazing at influencer marketing. So reaching out to influencers, building brand ambassadors to sell and promote her products for her. That's always an amazing strategy because they already built and established an audience and a trust and relationship with them. For me, one thing that we've both been doing actually now has been Facebook groups, building communities. So if you watch my interview that I did with Ryan Dice, who's the founder of digitalmarketer.com, he, from that interview, if you remember from it, I asked him the question, what should marketers be focusing on in 2019 and moving forward? And he said, building communities, building a community, a tribe. And I took that advice that he gave and I applied it right away. We actually hired a full-time community manager. We started the Project Life Mastery global Facebook community and really building a Facebook group and a community of people that are like-minded, that love the same topic, the same niche, but also love your product and your brand and what it's about. So that's been great. I've been really loving Facebook Messenger bots a lot lately too. So we use ManyChat for that in our business, and it just allows you to build a list on Facebook Messenger that can allow you to send them content, build, ask for Amazon reviews, follow up with people. There's a lot you can do with Facebook Messenger, which I really love. We're both big fans of YouTube. We believe in the future of video. Video is the future, it's where it's at. And a lot of marketing today is happening through video. So investing a lot into that. We do a lot of Facebook ads now too, a lot of retargeting people. So yeah, those are like 5 strategies, but those are things that we've been investing a lot in and learning more about and doing in our businesses.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I've got a question here about product artwork. So T. Lipton says, I was asked by the supplier to send him an artwork of my first product packaging, but I have no idea how to design it and what file format, etc. Any advice? Good question. So when your supplier asks for the artwork, that's great. So they're going to print it for you. You should ask them, okay, what are the dimensions that you need for the design? So what is the product packaging dimensions? How big should the design be? And what can you print? What colors can you print? Because some suppliers say you can only print 4 colors. Some suppliers say you have unlimited colors. So it's good to know before you invest in a designer. And then what I would recommend is just hiring a designer. So if you're not someone who knows how to design work yourself, don't even bother trying to do it. You're just going to spend a lot of time doing it, and you might not like the results, and then you might end up hiring someone to do it anyways. So just don't waste your time. Go straight to the professional. You can find people on Fiverr.com for this. I still get a lot of my design work from Fiverr. They have great designers. Sometimes you do have to go back and forth quite a bit with them. What I like to do is I like to draw it out on a paper. I'm by no means someone who can draw very well, but by drawing it out on paper, at least I give them an idea of what's going on in my head. Because if you just type things and try and explain it in words, it can be very hard to convey your vision, and then you'll go a lot of back and forth communication. So I recommend drawing it out on a paper, giving them examples of things that you like, different fonts that you like, the colors that you like. Be as specific as possible. Another good place that you could get designs done are Design Pickle. So Design Pickle, that's actually a bit more expensive you want. And then there's also 99designs.com.
Great. Madeline had a question. She says, hi, Tati and Stefan. I just finished my first month of selling on FBA. Congratulations. Anyway, what would you guys say are some important next steps to take? Well, first, congrats on making your first 8K. You know, you've already made it past the hard part, to be honest with you. The hardest part is just getting started and getting that traction and selling your first product, getting those first sales. I remember when I first started just online marketing in general, a mentor of mine, John Reese, who's a well-known marketer, one thing that he said is that if you can make your first dollar online, then you're 95% of the way there to making your first $100,000 online. And I really understood what he meant by that, because the hardest part is making that first dollar, is proving to yourself that this works, that someone somewhere in the world that you don't even know came to your Amazon listing, came to your website and bought your product. And it's just such an amazing, cool feeling to experience that for the first time. But the reason why you're 95% of the way there is now you've got something that's selling, okay? You've proven that there's a market, there's a demand for it. And then what you got to do is scale that up. So now you got to rinse and repeat what's been working for you. I'm not sure with it. Really cultivate that marketing channel, that aspect of your business. So I'd continue that. But also, if you follow my stuff, you know that I teach something called the Parthenon, right? I learned this from Jay Abraham, is that you don't just want to have a one-legged stool. A one-legged stool says that you're so dependent on this one product, this one stream of income. And the problem with that is that anytime adversity comes along, then, you know, it can collapse and your product can go away and stop selling. You lose that income stream and that profit that you're generating. So that's why it's important to build multiple pillars like a Parthenon. So you've got one pillar that's working for you, thinking about the second pillar, okay? And so if you're right now doing really well on Amazon, start building out a Facebook page or an Instagram page or a YouTube channel or a blog or something else that can allow you to build multiple pillars, so that when adversity does occur, then it's going to be a solid, secure structure that can stand the test of time. So that's the goal. So I don't know your niche or product, but keep doing what you're doing and then start to market in a few different ways to build up your business.
Cool. Okay. Sylvia asked me a question. She says, I would love to ask Tatiana how she manages her time to maintain and grow her business while taking care of herself. I love this question, and this is a topic that I want to reach more women with and talk more about on my YouTube channel, because I think it's so important, women in business. There's so much that we need to do to take care of ourselves and to honor ourselves and give ourselves that time. And I think sometimes women feel guilty to do that, especially when you have a family, when you have kids, everyone else comes first and you go last. But the thing with that is that if you're not taking care of yourself, you're never going to be the best version of yourself. So if you're not taking care of your health and your fitness, the work that you put out there to starting your online business is not as good. That you need to prioritize your own health and take care of yourself. And so, you know, you might feel guilty in the beginning, or you might feel like, you know, have some limiting beliefs around it, but I think it's important to create a ritual for yourself where you're able to take the time every single day to do things that honor your body. Just like Stefan talks about his morning ritual, you know, everyone should have a morning ritual, but ladies, take the time to do things that help put you in an energy and in a state that's going to serve you throughout your day. And so for myself, I always make sure that I go to bed later. I take the time to center myself and to journal and to kind of reflect, and that helps me start my day on the right foot. I make sure that I take the time to take care of my health, and then I also do things outside of business, because business can consume your life, especially as an entrepreneur. This is something that we both experience. We love working, we love our work, and so for us, we could spend hours and hours and hours doing that and then forget about all these other things in life, the juice of life. And so I've really prioritized lately to just make sure that I'm doing things outside of work that replenish my soul and that fulfill me, and therefore when I am in my work, it's just like I have 100% energy to put into that. I'm not distracted with other things, I'm focused. And yeah, so that's kind of a really big topic though, but that's something I will definitely discuss more on my other YouTube channel.
Yeah. One question from AJ, and we appreciate all the questions you guys are sending in. Unfortunately, there's more questions coming in than we can answer, but one was from AJ. He said, when should I trademark my brand? So trademarking your brand is a really great idea once you've established some sort of value and recognition of your brand. So when you first start a brand, and that's basically the name that you have for your business, for your brand, the products that you're selling. When you're first starting to sell it, it pretty much has zero value. Nobody knows what it is. No one's following it. You have no customers. And at that point, when something has zero value, it's not really that worthwhile trying to protect. You're trying to protect something that doesn't have much value yet. And so what I did myself, for example, Project Life Mastery is a brand, which I own the trademark for. I didn't trademark it right away. I actually waited a year or 2 years once I had built up this brand. At that point, I thought, wow, you know what? I better protect this because this has a value. I want to make sure no one else can use the name Project Life Mastery, and I want to own that trademark. So I waited a point where I determined it had enough value for me to, invest the money in terms of trademarking it. Because the thing is, when you're first getting started, it has no value. I mean, even if someone else takes that name, you're not really that far ahead in your business yet. So you can easily start over, rebrand, choose a different name. It's not that big of a deal. And then you find out that you violated a trademark or you can't trademark it or whatever that issue might be, that's when you can get into trouble. So that's why, then it's a lot harder to rebrand and everything at that point. So I'd recommend wait till you're selling first, make some money from your product, and then once you've got some traction and your business is taken off, then you're on to something, then protect and trademark your brand.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we've got a question from Jocelyn. Oops. So I think this is a follow-up question. If I get an EIN in Canada as a Canadian seller, but I don't need to register with the CRA anything in my country, you still need to declare that you're making income. You need to declare the income that you're making. So it depends. Are you going to incorporate your business? Are you going to be a sole proprietor? If you incorporate your business, then you will be declared under your personal income.
And I should just do what you're doing. I should take out my phone. I got another phone here and just pull up the chat that way. It's a little bit easier. Okay.
It's a question about inspection services. So third-party inspection services are, it's a company that you can hire, and you can hire them in the country where you are manufacturing your goods. So if you're manufacturing in China, then you would hire someone there, and hopefully someone within the city of where your manufacturer is, so that you don't have to pay them travel expenses. And the idea is that you have them inspect the inventory before the inventory gets shipped out to the US into the Amazon warehouse. And this is very valuable when you're first establishing that relationship with a new supplier, because you don't really trust them at that time. You need to develop that relationship and develop that trust. And so the inspection agency will inspect each product, and they will determine whether or not it passes or it fails the inspection. And the key with this is that you want to make sure that when you're paying your deposit for your initial inventory, you don't pay 100%. I know so many people who said, oh, but I paid the full amount, and that is such a rookie mistake. You want to make sure that you pay no more than 30% for your initial payment, and then the remaining 70% you only pay after they pass the inspection. And if they don't pass, then you have leverage. Then you can say, hey, look, the goods aren't good, they're not up to standard, please remake them or reimburse me for the money. And so they have the decision to make. So now you have leverage. If you paid 100%, you wouldn't have any leverage, because then you can have them fix, and like maybe there's 1, 2, 3 products that are damaged, then at least you can get reimbursed for those products or have them remade. And it does save you money in the long run. It's not something that you have to do with every shipment. It's just when you're establishing the relationship with the supplier for the first time, then the second, third time, you're good. You don't have to do it again.
Yeah. So this is, I got kind of two credit card debt before starting their Amazon business. And another person, Jose, says, as broke as you can be, literally living day to day, do you recommend getting my finances in order before trying to get into Amazon, or just jump in and try to deal with all the expenses? So to be clear, what I'd recommend is to get your finances in order before starting a business. A business is 10 times harder to be successful at than getting a job and making enough just to pay your bills and all that. I mean, maybe we make it sound easy or seem easy, but it's hard. It's not easy to build a business. It's not a get rich quick. It takes a lot of time, patience, skills that you got to develop, failures that you go through, ups and downs. It's a process, just like with anything, learning anything brand new. And so it's not the solution to, if right now you're struggling financially and you think this is going to save you, it's not. Because a business is something that you put money and time and energy into every single day without any immediate return from it. The return that you get is like months in the future, right? But if you're looking for that immediate income to provide for yourself, then that's when you got to get a job, and you've got to maybe get a second job, a third job, whatever it takes to get your financial situation in order right now. So if you're in a lot of credit card debt, don't start a business. Pay off your credit card debt. Credit card debt is some of the highest interest debt that you can have. I mean, some of the interest rates are like 19%, which is insane. Like, how are you going to get out of that? You've got to really cut off your expenses. Man, you might have to do what I had to do, which was embarrassing, but I had to go and live on my friend's couch for about a year to save money. I had to move it back in with my mom at one point, and I felt embarrassed of that. I had to sell my beat up Honda Civic and get a bus pass and take the bus everywhere. I had to make sacrifices and get myself in order, and not just my finances, but my mindset, my confidence, my habits, my disciplines. Because for me, at least, because I struggled a lot financially, I had to really look at why I was struggling financially. And what it came down for me is I had a lot of limiting beliefs. I had a lot of fear in my life. I had a lot of disempowering habits. I was lazy. A lot of these things that if you're not developing yourself, a business success is not going to work with that, right? Like, success works when you work, right? You got to get yourself together, because you're the one that's going to determine your success. And if you can't do that in terms of just being able to get a job right now to support yourself, like I said, running a business is tough. It's a lot more challenging than that. So I typically recommend, it's not for everybody, but you can learn skills right now. You can develop yourself, but I would get your finances in order, because I think there's just be a recipe for disaster if you don't have the basic fundamentals, the foundation. It's like building a house on a weak foundation. The house is going to collapse. Build a foundation that can then support the house and support the business that you want to build. Mm-hmm. I've got some great trainings on my channel too on money management and budgeting and mindset around money.
So Ace says, can you show us how to contact influencers? It seems pretty hard. It's actually really not that complicated. I think this is a good example for a lot of things in life. We think that they're much bigger than they are, and we create this belief that, oh, it's complex, oh, it's difficult, and then it causes us to stop and not even try. And I think it's like, okay, see it for what it is. Contacting influencers, send someone a DM on Instagram. It's really that easy. So find some people that you follow on Instagram, someone you admire, someone within your niche, send them a message and be like, hey, do you want to collab? I have a video on my channel about contacting influencers. If you want like more in depth about that, you can definitely check that out.
Great. Okay, hold on. Enzymatic says, the question is relating to the law of attraction. I know the importance of letting go after you ask for something, but how can you let what you ask for go if you have to keep repeating it every day? Well, what you have to let go is the attachment of having it. So the person most often that's the most attached to results is the person that's the least likely to actually acquire and attain that result. It's kind of one of the weird paradoxes of life, I'll give you an example. I remember for me when I was single, And I used to be a dating coach for many years before I started Project Life Mastery, and I was going out a lot and meeting women and working on my social skills, my confidence, etc. And one thing you learn, maybe you can relate, someone that might have been single at one point in your life, but often when you meet a man or woman and you're too attached to being with them, right? You're like, this is the one, this is the person that, I'm gonna spend my life with, right? And you're so attached to that person, what often happens is you start to become needy, right? You end up calling them 10 times a day. You end up repelling that person and not getting that result because you're coming from a position of desperation and a sense of lack within yourself, a sense of incompleteness within you, where you're looking for someone else or some goal, that empty void that you have. And so oftentimes when you're single, it's most often better. You can desire someone or want to be with someone, but you can't be attached to it. You got to be happy with yourself regardless, with your life regardless. Whether or not they're in your life or not, you're still going to be happy. You're still going to be complete and full, and you're not looking for something to complete you. It's the same thing with attracting money or any goal or a business in your life. Is you can desire it and want it, but not need that attachment from it to complete you. You've got to be happy first, because nothing on the external world is going to make you happy, right? You got to focus on internal happiness and internal abundance. And when you do, and you're not in this position of scarcity and lack and neediness to try to get a business, I need money to be happy in my life and complete, that's when you'll never get it. It starts realizing that right now you're abundant. Right now, if this comes into your life, great, but it's not going to complete you. You're already happy, you're already fulfilled. It's great to have these things flow into your life, but you're not attached to it. You're more focused on what I say called the process than the result. Because if you're attached to the result, I've got to make $10,000 a month in the next 6 months, right? Well, if you're so attached to that, you're going to get discouraged and give up when you don't hit that result. I've got to lose 30 pounds in the next 30 days. Well, you only lost 5 pounds and now you're discouraged and you give up because you're so attached to having a result. So instead, understand there's a process. Master the process. The results will always follow from that.
Love it. Okay, so we have someone that says, Nelson says, top 5 things to include in product inserts. So product inserts are really important because what they do is it's a marketing tool. And why I like them is because read your product description. With a product insert, if someone receives your product, they open up the box and they pull out the product and all of a sudden this card falls on the floor. Well, they have to at least pick up the card to throw it in the garbage. So then you have their attention for a few seconds, and that's why you want to utilize that and you want to market to them. So in the product insert, you can start getting them on your email list. On Amazon, you are not allowed to do that on your listing, but with the product itself, you can give them like a warranty or some sort of bonus where you can then get them onto your email list. And your email list is super valuable because then that's what you should grow, and you can then market them to your new products or affiliate products, and you build a following through that. So the things that I would include on a product insert, well, number one, well, it depends. So first of all, I have different product inserts. It depends. I have one that has washing instructions, like very standard things about the product. You need to make sure that you're giving as much information about the product as you can so people don't feel like they've been left in the dark. But then I also have ones that say, hey, leave us a review. You're allowed to ask your Amazon customers to leave you a review. It's totally following Amazon's policies. You just need to make sure that you don't incentivize them to leave a review. So just say, hey, if you love this product, please share it. We really appreciate it. We're a small company. We appreciate that. And I would also, give them a way to contact you, because again, on Amazon, they can't really contact you directly. They can contact you through the Amazon platform, but not via email. So give them a way to contact you.
Great. And by the way, we're going to answer a few more questions for you guys, and we're going to do another Q&A on Tatiana's channel. Her channel name is Stefan James. Okay, so you guys can look her up on YouTube. We'll be going live there, probably also from the phone. And again, apologies if the quality is not that good. We're doing this on my computer, professional camera equipment, and an exact but we had to improvise here by going here on the phone, using our data and everything, so the quality might not be the best. We're kind of limited based on the network that we have here. But also, if you guys want more information in terms of how to get started selling on Amazon, because I understand a lot of you right now are brand new, some of you are more experienced, and a lot of these questions that you guys have here, honestly, they're answered in this training that we're gonna share with you guys. But if you just go to projectlifemastery.com/ASM webinar, okay, projectlifemastery.com/ASM webinar, it's an upcoming live training that's gonna more walk you through the steps of this business, because again, this is more of a Q&A and we're here to answer your questions, but it's a little bit challenging to explain everything for you and go through each of the steps in the process of this. And that's why the training is there for you to be able to help you guys. So there might be a link in the description. Otherwise, my team can throw it in the chat here for you. But head on over there. It's going to be a live trainings. Okay, there's going to be no replays, no recordings of it, and that will help many of you guys answer the questions you have and really understand this process and the potential of this business and what. One question I got was how someone asked about having 100 units. Should I start with 100 units? You can start with 100 units, but you just have to understand that that kind of leaves you a little bit susceptible to running out of stock, right? Which is, we already kind of discussed, something that you want to avoid. You do not want to run out of stock, because then you're not going to get that momentum that you want on Amazon to really get the ball rolling. So you got to be mindful of that. And you also have to keep in mind, when you're first launching your product, that momentum, you might have to do some sort of sale or discount or launch, or even give away some products, right? So you're going to have to factor in some products you might have to give away in this process to try to establish yourself on Amazon. And so to answer the question, you can do it with 100 units, but just understand you're going to be a little bit limited in terms of how you're going to market it and sell it. And so it can be worthwhile to maybe wait till you can have a little bit more, but it does depend on the turnaround time of your supplier. So if they can, you have 100 units, and then probably when you're getting to like 50 units, you want to make your next order, it might depend on how long you'll take for them to then ship more products to you, to Amazon's fulfillment center. But one little thing you can, right, because running out of stock is a no-no. If you get close to running out of stock, just jack up your price on Amazon and you'll get less sales, but you'll kind of slow down that, because sometimes things get out of control. You might be selling a lot. To slow it down so you don't run out of stock, just raise your price so that the sales slow down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Okay, do you want to answer a few more? Someone's calling me here. So we'll do a few more, and then we're going to hop over to Tatiana's channel.
So I'm new. What's the best information I could use to immediately start? And what capital will you believe is the best to start with?
ASM webinar, guys, right there.
Yeah. Honestly, we get so many questions about how we started our Amazon businesses, and that's what we're sharing with you. We share with you about the ASM program because that's what I used as someone who had no experience with business, didn't even have a computer, like really knew nothing. And I just followed this course step by step, and it taught me what I needed to know to get started, to launch my first and second product. And once you understand the process, it becomes much easier. And then you just repeat it. You rinse and repeat. And that's what I did with my third product, which is now the product that I continue to sell today, that does over $115,000 per month in sales. So yes, the course is worth the investment, because look how much it's making me now. That's how I see it. It's like I invested in my education, which is kind of like investing in a course in university, and it really paid off for me. Yeah. Paid off more than what I paid for my university, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, we'll make this be the last question. Someone says, how many products do you recommend? So when you're first starting one product, you sell one product on Amazon. You do not want to try to sell 100 different products, okay? You want to build one brand in one niche that eventually has multiple products under that brand, okay? Similar to Apple Computer, they start with one product, right? The Mac, or whatever it was called back then, the Apple Computer, whatever, right? And then they branched out to different products under that brand. Now Apple has phones, and they have, many different products under that one brand. So
they're all pieces of technology. It's not like they have phones and then they have fitness equipment.
Yeah. So start with one brand, develop a niche, whether it's in fitness or gardening or maybe it's around health or yoga or cooking, whatever that niche is. Pick that niche and pick one product within that niche and start selling it and build a brand around it. Build your website around it. Build content marketing around it. Build slowly, expand and build from that. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up, guys. Got so many more questions that you guys have, I know, but we have to get ready for Tatiana's stream next. So here's how I'll close for you guys on a few things if you guys are looking for more, if you're looking for some next steps. So again, I mentioned the webinar, so make sure that you join the live training that's happening next week. There's 3 dates for it and 3 times. All of the information is there if you go to projectlifemastery.com/ASM webinar. It's a free training. It'll give you more answers to your questions. It'll explain the process for you, how to get started. A lot of that will be there for you, okay? So make sure that you guys join there. You'll get so much more from that. And then we also mentioned, we kind of hinted at an announcement for our mastermind. If you're looking for coaching from us, we're actually putting on a mastermind event on July 25th. It's a weekend event that we're putting on in Los Angeles, okay? Now, it's not for everybody, okay? You have to travel to us in Los Angeles, but it's only for a small, intimate group of people that can come spend time with us for 2 days in Los Angeles. We create the event custom tailored towards those that want coaching from us and our mentorship. And we basically spend those 2 days with you from morning till evening time, working on your business, answering your questions, helping you pick the right path, the right direction, the right strategies for you to build your business, whether it's on Amazon or whether it's affiliate marketing or selling your own course or being a coach, whatever it is. So if you're interested in this, again, it's not for everybody. It's an expensive event as well. And we filter people out based on an application process. Then go to projectlifemastery.com/mastermind. Okay, www.projectlifemastery.com/mastermind. Learn more about it there. Got more information for you. If it's the right fit, we'd love to have a chance to meet you in person, coach you, mentor you, help you build your business. And if not, that's okay too. There's tons of great content we have here for you guys on YouTube that is free and can also help and benefit you as well. So this is for those that are looking for that next step, that intimate coaching and that, having a chance to work with us on that intimate levels. So hopefully those can help you guys. And again, apologies for the issues here with the technology. Unfortunately, the internet died out and everything. So we did the best we could. And hopefully you guys got a lot of value from this recording today. So thank you guys so much. We look forward to seeing you again soon.